Reeves Immigration Law Group now brings you Immigration Law on Your Side.
Alright, Merry Christmas! Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat at magandang araw kung nasaan man po kayo sa mundo. Happy watching po and listening sa ating Immigration Law on Your Side. Dito pa rin po sa PHLV Radio. And Paskong Pasko na mga kaibigan and syempre malamig na rin dito sa Las Vegas. Pero syempre mas malamig ang kinaroroonan ng ating kaibigan si Attorney Flomy Javier-Diza na nanggagaling po sa San Francisco, California. Mga kaibigan, ang ating pag-uusapan ay sort of a recap of the whole year. Natapos na ang taon na ito. And the Biden administration has in its first year rolled back many of the policies implemented by the Trump administration that targeted non-U.S. citizens. But much work remains to be done. So with us tonight is Flomy Javier-Diza of Reeves Immigration Law Group para po bigyan linaw and bigyan tayo ng updates din kung ano mo ang mga kaganapan nitong buong taon hinggil sa immigration. Magandang gabi po sa iyo, Attorney Diza, and Merry Christmas po.
Yes, Kuya Johan, isang malamig. As nabanggit mo, malamig, makulimlim, maulan, mahangin na Disyembre dito sa Bay Area. At of course, sa viewers and listeners natin, magandang gabi, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. At Merry Christmas na rin po. Ilang tulog na lang, Pasko na. At panoorin po ninyo ang aming year-end assessment ni Kuya Johan ngayon. Ito po ang ating discussion right ngayong gabi. At ito na po ang huli nating episode ngayong 2021. So we're looking forward to a better 2022, hindi lang sa ating siyempre sa ating buhay, sa ating pamilya, sa ating kalusugan at trabaho, kundi rin sa ating sa immigration, sa larangan ng immigration dito sa US. At sabi mo nga Kuya Johan, nung panahon na ganito nung last year very excited tayo dahil siyempre ang inauguration ni Joe Biden was in January of 2021. And we look forward sa mga immigration reform niya. At nabanggit mo nga, tama yon, maraming ni-roll out na policies ng dating Pangulong Trump. At maraming natuwa dun sa mga programa ni Joe Biden. But yung pinakahihintay natin na nag-aabang ng more than 10 million na undocumented at out of status nating mga kababayan, wala pang programa para sa kanila. Pero really, it's a really good idea kung ano po yung mga nakinabang, ano po yung mga maganda, yung mga successes and failures. Discuss din natin at expectations natin for the year 2022.
All right, so let's start the ball rolling mga kaibigan para tayong parang talagang kumbaga sa radio station meron kaming year-end countdown kung ano yung mga hits of the year. And may hits and misses din. So attorney, ano po ba ang ano natin? Kumbaga sa music, top 40. Ano po ba ang maganda at hindi pa masyadong maganda at kailangan pang ayusin in terms of immigration on the first year of the Biden administration?
Unahin natin yung mga hits or yung mga successes. Of course, nandiyan yung unang-una diyan yung pag-revoke ng Muslim ban, right? If you remember, most countries na Muslim-dominated countries, there were around 7 or 9 Muslim-dominated countries where President Trump banned them from coming to the US either as an immigrant or non-immigrant. So ni-revoke yan ni President Biden. So may mga clients din natin from these countries whom we successfully made a waiver during Trump's, and they were also during Biden's time na nadala na sila dito. That's number one. Number two, yung extreme vetting, Kuya Johan, sa lahat ng nag-a-apply ng immigrant visa at non-immigrant visa. Masyado silang binubusisi, diba? Yung kanilang application, right? At mayroong tinatawag na administrative review during President Trump's. So that's a second one. The third one, of course, yung suspension ng entry of immigrants and non-immigrants si President Trump as early as March or April. Nung nagkaroon po ng declaration ng tawag nito quarantine and stay at home orders dahil sa pandemic, and that's understandable dahil syempre we don't want to spread the virus, pero tawag nito, so bibihira ang kanilang ini-interview at that point. Now, aside from the suspension and so in other words, wala nang suspension ng entry of immigrants, but also at the same time, Kuya Johan, despite the fact na wala na yung suspension ng entry ng immigrants and non-immigrants, marami pa ring backlogs na pag-usapan natin mamaya, yung miss naman. Right? Just because the administration, the Biden administration blamed that to the pandemic. Now that's number 4, yung pagtanggal ng suspension ng entry of immigrants and non-immigrants. The other one also that's very important sa mga kababayan natin, Kuya Johan, ay yung pagtanggal din ng public charge. Now, if you recall, mayroong mga discussion tayo ng lahat na nag-a-apply ng adjustment of status pag nasa United States sila at nag-a-apply ng immigrant visa pag nasa Pilipinas o sa ibang bansa, ay dapat i-prove that these intending immigrants will not become a public charge. Now, existing law already provide that yung petitioner would execute an affidavit of support, di ba? Just to make sure that the intending immigrant will not be a public charge. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya hihingi ng mga public benefits pag nandito na sa US. Yun. Kung hindi enough ang income ng petitioner, merong dyan sponsor where, again, pag hinabol sila ng gobyerno, pwedeng pag humingi sila ng tulong sa gobyerno, we call it public charge, ang unang hahabulin, of course, yung petitioner and yung joint sponsor kung walang pera yung intending immigrant. Now, tinanggal na yan. Aside from that, yung panahon ni Donald Trump, kailangan pang mag-provide ng health insurance, 'di ba? Bibili ng health insurance ang petitioner, and also the beneficiary or the intending immigrant needs to show that he has the English proficiency, right? At kailangan din ng educational background. So lahat yan pinaprovide during the application process. So in other words, nawala na lahat dyan, Kuya Johan. So these are the very important thing, no? And also idagdag na rin natin, of course, yung deferred action for childhood arrivals, right, na nagiging subject to litigation nung panahon ni Donald Trump. Di ba, nagkaroon ng suspension, nagkaroon ng in-stop yung pag-process. Ngayon ni-resume na ni Pangulong Biden, where people who came here when they were young, before 2007, and they have to prove physical presence in 2012, diba? Wala silang criminal conviction at they have been in school or in the military, pwede silang bigyan ng work authorization for 2 years at hindi sila priority when it comes to deportation. So that's also a very success immigration policy ng Biden administration. Yung mga nasa removal proceedings, Kuya Johan, right? Yung sinasabi nating enforcement priority or prosecutorial discretion, right? So instead of hearing their cases before the immigration judge, and if they have a very, very weak case, right, and the judge determines that they are removable or deportable, i-deport sila. So now, yung mga kababayan natin nasa removal or deportation proceedings, pwede sila mag-request ng tinatawag na prosecutorial discretion, right, para mawala sila sa removal. Either they will admin close the case, dismiss the case, immigration court, or terminate the case para wala ng kaso at hindi na sila subject to deportation. So these are very important immigration policies ng Biden administration during the first year. So marami sa ating mga kababayan ang nakinabang, right, at marami sa kababayan natin ang natuwa, right, dahil dito sa mga programang ito. And then hindi lang yan, siguro kung gawin nating 10 yan, mayroon kasama din yan yung dati pag nag-file ka ng application benefits, Kuya Johan, sa immigration, no? Mag-file ka ng immigrant petition, yung I-130, adjustment of status, or work authorization, or asylum, any kind of immigration benefits, pag hindi mo na fill upan yung isang information doon or hindi mo lagyan ng not applicable, right, i-reject nila yung application mo, i-dismiss nila or i-deny nila yung application mo. So at that point, that was also one of the harsh immigration policy ni Donald Trump na ni-revoke ng Pangulong Biden. So yun po ang summary ng mga magagandang nagawa ng Pangulong Biden when it comes to immigration in the US.
All right. And most of those, if not all of those, have been discussed here in this program. immigration law on your side. Kaya maganda po na abangan talaga ang mga updates ni Attorney Diza dito sa programang ito para malaman nyo ang mga latest. And as we said on top of the program, much work needs to be done. Still, ano pa po, attorney, ang mga kailangan pang dagdagan pa ng konting trabaho para maibsan ang itong mga backlogs o itong mga iba pang mga hindi pa nangyayari sa immigration natin?
As an immigration attorney ko, Johan, ang frustration natin, syempre yung backlog
Mhm.
at saka yung delays. Well, just because of the pandemic, right? And we understand that yung consular processing, yung interviews sa US Embassy ng Manila at saka interview dito sa United States, nililimit kasi nila ang mga interviews dahil sa COVID, dahil sa pandemic. So, yun ang pinaka problema natin as of now, as of October of 2021, Kuya Johan, there are about 500,000 na kompleto na ang documents at ready for interview na sa mga embassies. You can just imagine 500,000 waiting for that. Ang natatawag lang ng interviews around 46,000. So you could just imagine the number of people waiting in line, right? So yun ang problema natin dahil hindi lang yun ang problema natin yung backlog, Kuya Johan, makakatanggap pa yung aplikante o yung abogado na sinasabing terminate na yung application form, yung visa application dahil sasabihin nila wala kang action for the last 1 year. Because the National Visa Center and Department of Labor policy is that kung walang action, right, pag sinulatan ka ng National Visa Center, right, nag-send sila ng notice sa'yo and walang action within 1 year, they are authorized or allowed to terminate, right, yung application mo. And that's kind of frustrating and kakabahan talagang applicant dahil lalo na kung F4 petition niya naghintay ng 20 years at nakompleto na, Kuya Johan, ng document, ng payment ng immigrant visa fees, yung civil documents, yung affidavit support, na i-upload na lahat yan, download na lahat yan sa National Visa Center portal at naghihintay na lang. May notice dyan na we're waiting for the interview. We forwarded your records to the embassy in Manila and waiting for the interview. And just because of this pandemic, wala din kahit ilang follow-up mo yan, right? Hindi rin sila nagre-respond sa'yo dahil wala nang gaanong taong pumapasok at limited capacity lang kanilang interviews. So, magugulat na lang sila na makatanggap sila ng sulat o kami bilang abogado nakakatanggap din kami that the visa application has been withdrawn. So, yun yung frustration natin and the Biden administration promised to open, fully reopen, hopefully, if this pandemic is gone. But with the Delta and Omicron, whatever variant, that nandyan na naman at baka magkakaroon na naman ng lockdown at magkakaroon naman ng backlog. But this is a continuous problem and hopefully the Biden administration will address and resolve yung backlog ng visa application. So that is for consular processing. So yung mga nandito naman sa US, ganun din, Kuya Johan. The only advantage for people here in the US, like nag-apply sila ng green card through marriage or through employment or through yung family petition, the good thing about them is that nandito na sila sa US kasama ang kanilang petitioner, ang kanilang pamilya, at siyempre they're authorized to get the work permit while waiting for the actual green card. Yun lang advantage. But during the pandemic, meron din tayong waiting time. And of course, as of now, ang pinaka-backlog dyan yung 751. Ito yung removal of condition where, yung nagpakasal sila based on, nagkakuha ng green card based on marriage and they were able to obtain 2 years green card and they have to remove the condition, right? To prove to the immigration that, this is a bona fide relationship. So, ngayon, Kuya Johan, in order for the to cure this problem, ang ginawa ng USCIS is yung extension. Instead na extended ka ng 6 months yung green card, binibigay nila ngayon ng 18 months, so 1.5 years. But even with that solution, Kuya Johan, marami sa atin mga applications or applicants na 1.5 year na yung kanilang 751, wala pang decision. So isa sa mga problema talaga natin ng backlog. Although niremedyohan nila pag-extend, automatic extension dun sa resibo, where they were able to use that to show proof of work authorization, and they can also travel with that receipt. Now, sa advice ko sa mga kababayan natin na nakapag-file ng 751, yung removal of condition, is that if they are still married and living with their U.S. citizen spouse, file the naturalization right away kung eligible na kayo, kasi 3 years lang kailangan mong residency dyan, di ba? So kung sakaling nag-intend sila ng 1 year, wala pa yung kanilang 10-year na green card, i-file na yung citizenship para ma-push yung decision ng kanilang 751. So sa mga kababayan, marami kaming ginawang ganyan na kliyente sa mga client namin where, pag pinatawag ng interview, isahan na lang. Yung 751 muna to make sure that they're still together, and then interview na rin sila ng naturalization or citizenship on the civic and English language, and if they pass, kakaroon kaagad na oath taking on the same day. So ito yung mga miss na nangyari sa ating gobyerno, yung backlogs and delays, not only for the immigrant visa application but also immigration benefits in the United States.
Attorney, one of the news na napag-usapan natin last year was yung refugee program. And isa sa mga nagawa ng administration yan is to raise the cap into the admissions of the refugees dito sa ating bansa. How did we do on our admissions in 2021? Ngayong naitaas na rin naman ang cap na ito, Attorney.
Yes, naitaas na yung cap, Kuya Johan, and in fact, during Trump's administration, ang policy niya was yung last out, first in. Ibig sabihin, kung pa-file mo ng asylum application ngayon, ikaw ang unang tatawagin. Kasi during the Obama time, Kuya Johan, a lot of people are tempted to apply for asylum just to get a work permit. And just because that process takes, like in San Francisco Bay Area, 4 years. And other more populated areas like Los Angeles, for example, umabot ng 5 to 6 years, right? So, yung katagal na yon, they're able to obtain work permit, and while waiting for their interview, nakakakuha na sila ng other ways to immigrate. So, for example, they get married, or, there are other immigration benefits that applies to them. So, during Biden's time, dinamihan niya yung mga number of refugees at number of officers, that's true, but there is still a problem, Kuya Johan, yung nasa southern border, because during Trump's time, as we know, ang sabi niya yung mga galing sa other southern American countries, kagaya ng El Salvador, Brazil, ano pa ba, sa lahat lang mga areas dun sa baba ng Mexico, right? Ang ginagawa ng Pangulong Trump was, you cannot enter the US until mahir yung credible fear nyo dyan sa Mexico. So you remain in Mexico while your case is being heard. Hindi kagaya ng Obama where they allowed them in, and dito na pakikinggan yung kanilang asylum claim. Now, the argument of President Trump at that point was, pag pinatawag sila ng hearing, hindi na sila sumisipot. Di ba? Parang ganun ang sabi niya na wala na, pinapabayan nila, they're playing with the system. That might be true to others, but not true to others who have legitimate claim for asylum. Now, that still hold true, Kuya Johan, just because a district court upheld the ruling that the people seeking asylum at the southern border should still remain in Mexico. So, yun lang nakakalungkot, dahil siyempre, lalo kung may kamag-anak sila dito, lalo na kung may opportunities sila dito to work, right? Hindi nila magagawa dahil they need to remain in Mexico while their hearing is being while waiting for the hearing.
And surely we will be having more updates about this issue, mga kababayan. So manatiling nakatutok. Attorney, isa din sa mga nakalista sa atin dito is itong, the first quarter of the year of 2021. Of course, we got excited about the U.S. Citizenship Act. Was that it was the bill that was passed in Congress. Whatever happened to that, Attorney? Ano na po ang nangyari doon?
There was a proposal in the House of Representatives, sa Congress natin, but hindi pa pinuput sa vote, Kuya Johan, where people, who arrive in the United States before 2021, right, would be able to get some kind of legal status or work authorization like bibigyan sila ng mga unused visa, magagamitin lahat yon. But that's still with the, what do you call this, with the Congress. So hindi pa yung pinagbobotohan, and syempre kahit pagbotohan pa ng Kongreso yan, Kuya Johan, dadaan pa rin ng butas ng karayom sa Senado, where merong mga isa o dalawa dyan na Democrats who are kind of, nasa conservative side. That is being endorsed by President Biden, yung Citizenship Act of 2021. But until the Congress acts on it, hindi natin makikita ang result, or hindi natin madidiscuss kung ano nandiyan. Now, of course, as we mentioned, it's always a policy of the Biden administration to have an immigration reform, but his hands are tied. Diba? Hindi man niya pwedeng gawin na administrative order lang to, dahil kailangan ng act ng both Congress, meaning yung ating mga House of Representatives and also the Senate. Kailangan yan, and siyempre pipirmahan niya to become a law. So yun yung endorsement niya, Kuya Johan. And if you are also following ang immigration news, meron din yung tinatawag na Build Back Better, right? Where diniscuss nila dito yung mga possible na kung ito yung naipasa na ng Kongreso, Kuya Johan, meaning yung House of Representatives. So hinihintay na lang natin ang Senate. And I don't know, as again, I'm not being very optimist that it will be passed on the immigration aspect, right, ng Build Back Better, where they were saying that people who were here before 2011, so 10 years residency ka dito, right, at bibigyan ka ng legal status. Parang ipaparol ka at bibigyan ka ng kind of work authorization. Parang DACA lang din na kind of legal, hindi siya green card, hindi siya citizenship, but it's kind of form of legal status para hindi ka i-deport. At the same time, bibigyan po kayo ng work authorization so that you're able to get a social security, apply for a job, and pay for your taxes. So watch out for this Build Back Better. If this is passed by the Senate and becomes a law, then it will be a very good news. Kung adopted as is ng Senado yung version ng Kongreso, right, or yung House of Representatives, then that would be a very good news sa ating mga naghihintay ng immigration reform.
Mhm. So, attorney, patapos na ang taon ngayon. And obviously, hingang malalim muna sa lahat ng mga, a lot of people will be on a break, and even in the folks at immigration will probably be in a break. But looking forward, attorney, to the new year and the years to come, what do you see ang mga challenges ng administration na ito in terms of immigration?
Maraming dapat gawin ng administration, Kuya Johan, at of course ang President Biden, to work on immigration, because as we know, marami siyang ni-reverse na Trump administration's policy, which we could consider it discriminatory. But lalong-lalo ng pandemic, of course, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin o isisi sa administrasyon of the delays and backlogs, and everybody's experiencing slowdown, hindi lang sa buhay natin, hindi lang sa ating business, sa ating pamilya, kundi pati sa immigration din. Of course, we're trying to avoid the spread of this pandemic. We hope that pag na-solve na ito lahat, Kuya Johan, dadagdagan pa ang mga embassies ng kanilang staff, kasi maraming naghihintay na pamilya, Kuya Johan, to be reunited with their families, right? Hindi lang yung mga F1 or F4, yung mga age out na mga anak ang i-reunite natin, pero marami rin tayong may maasawa, may mga anak na maliliit pa, di ba, na naiwan sa Pilipinas just because nagkaroon ng pandemic, walang flight, na-cancel ang visa. Maraming sitwasyon na ganoon, Kuya Johan. So yun sana ang bigyan nila ng pansin, because even if we follow up every day or every other day, every week, every month, ang kanilang applications, kung walang sumasagot o walang sumasagot sa telepono, sa embassy, at walang nagre-respond sa mga emails, walang mangyayari. Right? And the only option for us lawyers is to sue them, right, for inaction. Sa mga discussions natin in the past, yung mandamus, di ba? Compelling them to do their act, right? Although they can make siguro an exception or sasabihin nila na, well, we're exempted because of the pandemic. We cannot do anything. But of course, with the long delays, lalong-lalo na yung mga pre-pandemic pang pending, right, na na-interview na before pandemic at hanggang ngayon, naabutan sila ng pandemic at lalong nagkaroon ng delays, siguro naman they have to look into this one. So ito yung mga challenges, Kuya Johan. In fact, dito naman sa US, as we go along with our program, nabanggit natin na slowly reopening ang mga adjustment of status. Dati dito sa Bay Area, umabot ng 2 taon, 1.5 kalahati. Pero ngayon may nakikita tayo mga 8 months pa lang, di ba? Meron na mga interviews. In other words, bumibilis sila at dumadami na rin ang kanilang mga pinapatawag sa interviews. I just came from the Santa Clara, San Jose adjustment of status interview this morning, early morning, 7:30. So ang dami ng tao. Kumbaga, hopefully they're back to like 80% capacity ang kanilang mga ini-interviews para dumadami. In fact, yung iba, Kuya Yon, nagtutulungan yan eh. Ang aking client live in the San Francisco Bay Area where ang jurisdiction dyan dapat sa San Francisco. Pero siguro dahil mas maraming mga nag-apply sa San Francisco, pinadala nito sa San Jose area. So doon ang interview kay Malayo. Isang client ko nga sa Fresno pinadala dito sa Bay Area nakatira. And I said, okay, just go kasi that would expedite your case. 8 months pa lang from the time we file, may interview na siya. Kahit Fresno yan, puntahan mo na lang, puntahan natin and get this done with at kunin mo na yung green card mo. So they're doing something, to expedite the process, to avoid the backlogs and delays. And hopefully that remains true sa year 2022.
All right. So, of course, 2022 mga kababayan, abangan ang iba pang mga updates. Marami pa yan. At, dahil Pasko, meron kaming bonus sa inyo mga kababayan. We'll head over to a break, but isa sa mga itinanong ninyo this year is yung pagkakaroon ng work permit. Sino ba ang allowed na mag-apply ng work permit dito sa United States? Tatanong natin kay attorney yan, just as a bonus topic tonight sa ating immigration law on your side para po naman mabigyan linaw yung topic na yan. Who qualifies for a work permit in the United States? Okay, sa pagbabalik po ng immigration law on your side, right here on PHLV Radio, dyan lamang po kayo.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has been representing immigrants for nearly 40 years. Reeves Immigration Law Group has been fighting for its clients through experience and expertise. With immigration lawyers you can access at reasonable fees, even on Saturday. Payment plans are also available. Call us for your immigration solutions. We can do worldwide telephone and Skype consultations. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009. Reeves Immigration Law Group has offices in Los Angeles, San Francisco, China, and Philippines. See us at www.rreeves.com. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009.
Alright mga kababayan, welcome back to Immigration Law on your side right here at PHLV Radio. Ako po ay nanggagaling dito sa Las Vegas, Nevada, and of course si Attorney Diza nanggagaling naman po sa San Francisco Bay Area sa Reeves Immigration Law Group. Attorney, may mga nagtanong dito, sino po ba ang nagko-qualify para mag-apply ng work permit?
Yes, Kuya Yon, bago natin sagutin yan, at total sabi mo nga, nabanggit mo nga, Pasko naman, Christmas and New Year.
Yes!
Lahat po naman nakikinig at nanonood ngayon, kung meron kayong immigration consultation at banggitin at meron kayong immigration concerns at gusto niyo magkaroon ng consultation with me at Reeves Immigration Law Group, meron po kaming charge na $100 consultation. But if you mention PHLV Radio, bibigyan po kayo ng free consultation this month. Kalahating buwan pa tayo until the whole month of January. So yung mga nakikinig po dyan, yung $100 consultation ay pamasko po ng Reeves Immigration Law Group sa inyo para sa consultation lang po. Hindi po yung buong kaso. At pagtanong kayo kung ano man yung gusto nyo itanong through our Zoom or telephone or in person, just mention PHLV Radio, and as I mentioned, I will give you, kung ako ang nagko-consult, give you a free legal consultation.
All right.
On top of that, i-discuss din natin kung sino pwede mag-apply ng briefly ng work permit kasi marami tayong natatanggap na mga tanong diyan, Kuya Johan, lalong-lalo yung nasa tourist visa. Attorney, gusto ko magkaroon ng work permit. It's not as simple as, you come to the US on a tourist visa and you want to work dahil gusto mong bawiin yung inyong pamasahe at siyempre yung bawiin ang expenses niyo dito. Hindi ganun kadali, di ba? Unless you came in as a B1 nanny. Ito yung mga business visa where sinama kayo ng inyong employer dito para alagaan ang kanilang mga anak or tulungan yung matandang or may kapansanan na magulang, right? On a B1, B2, pwede yon with the work permit. Pero yung regular na tourist visa, hindi pwede yan. Hindi rin yung mga overstay, hindi rin po pwede. So essentially, Kuya Johan, lahat ng US citizen are allowed to work. Lahat ng mga lawful permanent residents, hindi nila kailangan ng work authorization. Right? Kasi as a lawful, yun ang advantage ng green card. Kaya sa mga kababayan natin nakikinig ngayon na wala pang papel, it's a good idea to consult an immigration attorney and discuss kung paano po kayo magkakaroon ng green card. Kasi yaan, unlimited po yaan ang inyong opportunities to work elsewhere, to put up a business or to go to school, right? So, yung mga kababayan natin na pwede mag-apply ng work permit, Kuya Johan, ay only yung mga may pending application, right? So, for example, even if you overstayed and you marry a U.S. citizen or your priority date is now available and you're eligible for adjustment of status, right? Yung green card application, pwede na po kayo mag-file ng work permit concurrently with your adjustment of status. So, binibigay na po sa yung work permit nyo habang naghintay po kayo ng green card interview or green card approval. Yun number 1. Number 2, yung mga may pending cases din kagaya ng pumasok dito as K1, yung mga fiancé, right? Maraming hindi nakakaalam na pwede na sila mag-apply ng work permit or social security even hindi pa sila nag-file ng adjustment of status. Number 3, Kuya Johan, yung mga may pending na asylum cases, right? So, pwede rin sila mag-file, yung nabanggit natin kanina, na dahil sa tagal ng mga process during Obama's time, people file for asylum to get work permit. Pero mostly naman, nagpa-file ng asylum because they have a valid claim, right? Or yung mga may pending na cancellation of removal, anything that you have a pending benefit. So hindi yung independently na attorney gusto ko mag-apply ng work permit because gusto ko magtrabaho. No, it's not as simple as that. So yun yung mga people who are qualified to get a work authorization, Kuya Johan, pero may mga tao din yung mga non-immigrant status, no? Na hindi na because of their nature of their visa, allowed sila magtrabaho. Kagaya ng H1B, right? Kasi they're coming here, yung mga temporary professional workers to work. But this, ito merong specific employer, ano? So yung petitioner, doon lang po kayo pwede magtrabaho. Now, o yung mga H2B, right? Yung mga nagtatrabaho sa mga hotels, sa mga farm workers, at saka yung mga J1s, yung mga teachers, marami po nakikinig sa atin dyan sa Las Vegas sa mga J1. Marami tayong mga consultations from Las Vegas area and Nevada area. Kung during the duration of your status, pwede kayong mag-work. Yung mga L1, yung mga intra-companies, yung mga E2s, lahat yan authorized, just because those are your visa categories, non-immigrant visa, you're coming here to work in the United States. So yun po yung mga allowed, Kuya Johan, na mag-apply or authorized to work and allowed to file for work authorization.
Attorney, very quickly, yung mga spouses nila, attorney, which ones ang mga pupwedeng mag-apply din ng work permit?
Yung mga H1B, Kuya Johan, yung mga H4, during Obama's time, pwede mag-apply. Kung paano ni Donald Trump, sinuspend na yan, but binalik ulit na yan kay President Biden. So those H4, pwede silang mag-file ng work authorization. Yung mga investor, spouses, and children, pwede rin mag-apply ng work authorization. Yung mga diplomats, spouses, and children, pwede mag-apply ng work permit. So mostly of the non-immigrant employment-based, Kuya Johan, their spouses are also allowed or authorized or qualified to apply for work authorization.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, kumonsulta mga kaibigan, and katulad ng nasabi ni Attorney Diza, if you call Attorney Diza and consult with him and tell them that you heard this at PHLV Radio. Ayan, may pamasko si Attorney ngayon. Libre ang consultation fee. So, Attorney, pag kailangan nilang, gusto nilang mag-apply, paano ito ina-apply? Is it through online? Pwede na rin ba? Or how is it itong employment authorization na ito?
Kung sa first filing, Kuya Johan, let's say adjustment of status through marriage, for example, or asylum, yung sa through marriage or visa is already available, pwede mong i-apply yan together with the main application, right? Adjustment of status, asylum, cancellation of removal, pwedeng i-file concurrently yung work permit. Now, for example, nag-expire at hindi pa nadidesisyonan yung principal benefits na fina-file kagaya ng adjustment at hindi pa yan, wala ka pang green card at mag-extend ka, right? Pwede mong i-file online, right? You just need to provide that your main application is still pending. So you can download that online and file it online.
All right. Okay, mga kaibigan, kung meron po kayong mga dagdag na katanungan, i-comment lamang po sa comment section ng post na ito. We are streaming on Facebook and also on YouTube and also on Amazon Fire TV. And to our listeners on the PHLV radio app, maraming salamat po sa inyo. So, attorney, before we close, it's Christmas and tulad ng nasabi nyo, mga kaibigan, nabigyan na kayo ng pamasko ni Attorney Diza ng free consultation ngayong buwan na ito. So tumawag na. And attorney, I'll give you the floor. Baka meron po kayong mga message sa ating mga listeners and viewers and clients of Reeves Immigration Law Group this Christmas season.
Yes, Kuya Johan, lalong-lalo sa mga nakikinig at nanonood lang sa atin sa last part ng ating programa, right? Free consultation po kayo when you call the office to schedule it with me, right? We'll give you a free instead of charging $100 yung pampamasko ng Reeves Immigration Law Group. Today until the end of January of 2022. It's free consultation by Zoom, by telephone. Just set an appointment and mention PHLV Radio. Of course, sa mga nakikinig at nanonood pa na walang status or may mga kamag-anak po kayo na hindi pa nagkukonsulta ng abogado, it's time for you to make a decision. You don't want to be out of status, walang papel for the rest of your life. Keep on working. Right? Especially if you're paying your taxes, wala po kayong immigration benefits. And many clients who were here for a long time paying their taxes and paying the social securities, lalong-lalo nagkaroon ng stimulus, Kuya Johan, ng Pangulong Trump and Pangulong Biden, wala silang nakuha dahil wala silang status or wala silang green card, wala silang work permit. We don't have to wait for another administration na maging stricto para magkonsulta ng abogado. Right, there might be some options for you, and we'll discuss that when you consult with us. Now, sa mga viewers natin at listeners sa buong PHLV staff, Kuya Johan, maraming salamat sa pagtangkilik, at pagsuporta sa ating programa at lahat ng programa ng PHLV Radio. I think we're going fourth year na next year, Kuya Johan, or third year?
Third year, attorney. Wow.
Yeah, third year.
Tuloy-tuloy.
Maraming salamat sa panonood at pakikinig sa amin every week, sa lahat ng programa ng PHLV Radio. Ang immigration law on your side, Kuya Johan, ang immigration topic, hindi tayo nawawalan ng topics. Maraming mga discussions tayo, and you can always revisit kung ano yung batas, bagong batas, kung ano yung applicable sa inyo, discuss po natin dito. And lahat po ng lahat ng mga viewers and listeners natin, from my family to yours, from my law firm, Reeves Immigration Law Group, at sa PHLV Radio, maligayang Pasko, masaganang bagong taon sa inyong lahat. Marami pong salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Attorney Diza. And from the PHLV family, papunta po dyan sa inyo sa Reeves Immigration Law Group family, Merry Christmas and a great prosperous New Year to everyone. Lahat po sa inyo dyan. Worldwide, pati po sa ating mga staff sa Makati and also in China. And they have an office also in the Los Angeles area. So again, Attorney Diza, maraming salamat po. And from my family to yours, Merry Christmas din sa inyong family. Thank you so much. And mga kababayan, abangan po ang iba pang mga updates dito sa Immigration Law on Your Side. We are here on PHLV Radio every Wednesday ng 7 p.m. dito po sa Las Vegas time or dito sa Pacific time. And we're gonna be here doing public service po para sa inyo. Kaya lamang, i-comment lang ang inyong mga tanong para maipaabot natin kay Attorney Diza at masagot po lahat ng yaan. So maraming salamat po from Las Vegas. Ito po si Kuya Yo. We will see you next time right here at Immigration Law on Your Side. Merry Christmas to one and all.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has just brought you Immigration Law on Your Side, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Pacific on PHLV Radio.